part of this effort too, and seeking accountability is many of our relatives that have lived
you wanna
here
pause?
For many years know that there are many
Karina?
racist.
You wanna pause?
Oh, sorry.
I think. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Hold on.
Oh, we tried to go back up. My low battery signal came on, and then it kicked me off, but I still got 20%. Sorry. So sorry. Okay, so we might have to start that all over.
Zoe said I messed that up. Oops, because Zoe took it down.
Oh. Yeah, I just went low battery.
Yeah. We're live again.
Okay. So we're back live again. Sorry about that, everyone. Cell phone battery struggling. Yeah, it doesn't all flip all the way.
Oh.
I need to go to low power mode, but I'm struggling. All right, so right before we cut out, we were getting ready to interview Karina Berry here. So thank you, Karina. We were just doing an interview that was not live, so we're going to do our best to back up a little bit. So Karina Berry, NDN Collective, staff person and managing director of NDN Action. So what I asked Karina to share is, the importance of this action today and this bigger overall strategy that was prompted by the statements made by Connie Uhre, and was this opportunity to hold racism accountable. So I asked Karina to just share about, this strategy and the goal here, why this is important, and moreover, to connect it to NDN Collective's overall mission and work around nonviolent direct action campaigns, organizing. So yeah. So Karina, feel free to just pick it all back up again and start from the top.
Yeah, no worries. Bonjour everyone, like Sarah said, Karina Berry, Beach Lake Anishinaabe, and I'm also a visitor in this territory, here to support our team, our Indian Collective team, but also the local urban Indian community here, and our Native community members that travel in and bring business to the city all the time. And I think we know all too well of this long history of racist practices and racist policies that Indigenous people have been impacted by, and that continues to be perpetuated systemically in all systems, institutions, and levels. And for Indian Collective, it's really important for us. All of our work is really grounded in and rooted in our people and our communities. And so when we have instances like this happen, whether here in Rapid City or in one of our other home territories, it's for us, like change can't happen or without including our people in these spaces and these strategies. And so one, giving opportunities for community to come together and to share their voices and share their perspectives and their lived experience. In this example of systemic racism in the city, it's not just the Uhre family and their businesses. Like as I mentioned, there's many other businesses and institutions and structures here that perpetuate this racism, and so for us it's really important on like how do we have multiple strategies for calling for accountability, whether that's a legal strategy and a lawsuit, or it's showing up here and being in the streets. Like this is important for all these cars, these people driving by, these businesses, for people to see like that this is important to us as community members, and that we won't stand for racism against anybody here. And so if we think of like this long history of organizing and mobilization, like that's when we see action, or that's when we see change, like real change. Like that's what these institutions and structures are scared of, is for us to stand up and for us to speak up. So when we can mobilize and bring our voices to the front, when we bring solutions, and that we stand up against the status quo and see, like, we really want change, we want accountability, we want these businesses to be held accountable. So we need the city to step up, we need the state to step up and create those accountability measures and enforce them. And then for us, like, we'll just continue, like, what's important to us is to continue to organize with the people, like what change do they want to see? Like or one, hearing from the people, like how have you been impacted? What change do you want to see? Like what are the ideas, the solutions? And as a part of NDN Collective, like that's what we're working on every day. Like here in Rapid City, we have our teams are working hard to build schools for our Indigenous students, but all students, right? Like, and those students are our kids. Like they deserve to live happy, healthy lives here in this city, to not experience the racism that their parents, their uncles, their aunties, their grandmas are experiencing just going to the store to get food or trying to get lodging. In the same way, we're creating housing solutions and investing in a housing solution. So we have, just like all across Turtle Island, like Indigenous people are disproportionately impacted by this housing crisis. And so right here in Rapid City, like NDN Collective in partnership with community is building those solutions and creating housing that is safe, that is sustainable for our women, our children. And so all of this ties together because as we're creating those more long-term sustainable solutions, we have to be fighting to dismantle and disrupt the systems and the structures that still harm our people every day.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Karina. I think it's important too for people to know and understand that this is one part of the strategy of building Indigenous power, of disrupting the status quo, of supporting Indigenous self-determination, is like the organizing against and dismantling of these racist structures and institutional racism, while at the same time building. And I think a lot of people might only see this and try to say some dismissive things about the overall work. Maybe just seeing the fighting, but not always seeing the building. And so I'm really glad that you spoke to all of the building, community organizing that is happening in this community across Turtle Island with Indian Collective's work. Because we know that it's not just one strategy, multiple strategies are needed and multiple tools are needed, and employing every single tool is really critical. We have to be dynamic. In order to dismantle, the residual effects and the ongoing impacts of colonialism, we have to be dynamic, we have to be resourceful, we have to be committed. And so I'm just really glad that you talked about the building aspect, because people got to see the building. So maybe you could spend a minute too to talk about like what else is happening in the city and just any other details about like the building, the providing of opportunity, of support to our local community here, not just in Rapid City, but maybe like with Indian Collective's overall action and campaign work.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, and that's the thing too, is just like we're like as organization, as people, as community members, a part of this organization, like we're not here to continue with the status quo, right? Like we're all here committed to changing the conditions in which we live, which we grew up with, which our ancestors, were inflicted on them. And so it's like every day we are touching different parts of, let's say like communities. So like I said here, whether it's building a school that's grounded in Indigenous values and teachings, that gives a safe space for students, or whether it's housing and having, again, that safe, supportive space that's also grounded in, in this territory, Lakota teachings and values, but also like other community development. Like there are a number of community development projects that Indian's working on to uplift and empower Indigenous businesses and entrepreneurs, creating that platform, that space for our people. Because too often like we're intentionally left out of that. And then here, and that like with that, even that community development work and trying to create actual spaces for Indigenous businesses to live and thrive. Here, like when we have racist businesses or businesses who are perpetuating racist practices and policies, like we need to redirect those dollars back into the people, which we know are creative and talented and have so much to offer. And so like that's a big part of this work too, and there's so many different intersections like here in the community too, and across Turtle Island, like Indian's doing like grant making and helping resource into our tribes, into our urban. Lending and investing, supporting Indigenous businesses and our tribes in the different their own development and business projects that they're creating, and then through all of that, it's like our fight with our campaigns, whether it's fighting for racial equity or fighting for climate justice, fighting for land back, and to do all of this work, that's what is most important, and it's threaded through all of that. And even with this one issue right here with racist businesses, it's all interconnected, and so it's like for us, as we organize and we think through strategies, we're thinking of all of those pieces, but also keeping the people in mind. And one thing I wanted to share too that's not, maybe reflected in our pictures and our videos is the inclusion of youth in elders and ceremony and prayer and all of this work. And so it's like even in creating at our art builds this week, we had a number of youth and community members plugging in and learning how to create artwork and banners and to understand messaging and why that's important, to take exactly how they feel and their voices and put that on a banner or put that on a sign so that these community members can see and hear that and feel that. And then being able to see youth or community members of all ages and allies be here today, that's all important for us in this work that we do.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sunny. You just missed the cool group shot here, but nice, beautiful group coming through. We're getting close to wrapping up, I think. But again, this just being day one was a really beautiful, powerful turnout. See some other live streams happening. So again, day one, this will be taking place Monday, Wednesday, Friday, every week. And then Karina, is it the same time, 11 to 1, Monday, Wednesday, Friday? Okay. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So precious. Yeah, little kiddo here. Aww. Holding the sage can, holding the smudge can. So beautiful. Love to see it. Oh my gosh, so cute. Holding the sage. All right, we're getting ready to wrap up, everyone. I think everyone is heading back up to shut down just for the day. But thanks so much for tuning in. I know my battery died a couple of times. Or not died, it kind of cut out. But we're going to go ahead and close out. We're going to close out for now. And we'll be back again. Thank you so much for tuning in here at Indian Live. We will be continuing to to share more resources, to do more storytelling around this, to cover the unfolding of this boycott, to uncover the ongoing legal strategy and updates around the federal civil rights class action lawsuit. So stay tuned. We'll keep you posted. And again, thanks so much for joining us. Really beautiful turnout here today. I'd say I'm going to estimate that there was, in total, of people who had come and gone, at least 100 people who came and stood and held up a sign and participated in the boycott. Lots of people who drove by in solidarity. A lot of support. And so again, the next time we'll be back this Friday, 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock Mountain Standard Time here in Rapid City, Mini Luzaha. Come out and join us. You can take your lunch break here. Bring your lunch on over. We'll also provide some drinks and snacks, keep you hydrated. And we'll be sharing more resources also in the chat. Check back all of our social media for ongoing coverage of this story from an Indigenous lens that is unlike any other media group and how they cover it. So thank you for joining us and being with us, and we'll be reporting more on this later. Take care.